So hopefully one of the first things you guys notice is how well it cuts for starters, which is the job of the mower, so let's tick that one off. And also 60 decibels. This thing runs really quiet. Now 82 volt, people go, oh, battery mower, okay, must be small, must be pretty weak, must be quiet. Absolutely, it's quiet. It's not weak at all. This thing does have two settings, which it automatically, intelligently chooses its own setting. If you're just plugging away on your little backyard and your grass is, I don't know, 2.5, 3 inches long, and you're dropping it down to the 1.5 to 2, this thing is going to absolutely romp it in all day, every day, super quiet, and you can just plug away perfect. The 2 amp hour battery is what I used it on a lot. Now, people are going to ask why, when there's a 4 amp hour battery available, why wouldn't you use that in the biggest tool of the range, the biggest unit in their range? I used it in the 4 amp hour, in the review process. I didn't use it majority of the time for the reason being that you have a 4 amp hour battery, that's fantastic, and I say to you, you know what, this thing is the absolute duck's guts on a 4 amp hour battery, go get one, no dramas. What happens when you put a 2 amp hour battery in? How much does the performance drop? The performance doesn't drop much at all. In fact, I couldn't notice a huge difference in the power between the 4 amp hour and 2 amp hour. Now, of course, with all battery systems, double the amperage, you've got a little bit more juice there to push out, as long as the motor and the electronic systems will receive it. So I think there's a little bit of a benefit in the 4 amp hour, but I think the majority of the benefit for that is you're not pulling out the 2 amp hour regularly to recharge. So the 2 amp hour is what I did it on a majority of the time. What I liked the idea of doing that is because I wanted to see if it could do the softer stuff and the harder stuff on a 2 amp hour, and whether I could overdraw the battery or have it go, hey, look, you're asking too much, which I did not find. So I think it's important to find the limit of the smaller battery, because I think majority of the time people are going to have at least one, if not two small batteries and one of the big batteries. So you need to be able to qualify how good the tool is, I think, on that one. So I'm going to say it's fantastic on that, and it's even better on the 4 amp hour. The 4 amp hour you're going to pay a bit more for. Being a steel deck, I absolutely love it. I'm not 100% sold on plastic deck mowers. Now, part of that could be because I've come from petrol Honda background. I'm just used to an aluminium or a steel deck. I got this thing and pulled it out, got my boy to set it up because I'm too impatient. Took him maybe 10 minutes just to set the handle up in bits and pieces and go, yep, we're right to go, Dad. And I gave it a whirl. I love the build quality on this. There's a few people out there that go, oh, Victor, that's sort of the bottom end. Absolutely not true whatsoever. This mower is really impressive with the build quality. It doesn't have a ton of bells and whistles on it, but I'm not upset about that because it does its main job properly, which is mow the stinking grass. So very happy. I ran it all of the time with the mulch plug. I ran the catcher once just to make sure it actually caught the grass in it. I know that sounds silly, but there's dust bags out there on other tools that don't necessarily collect a lot of dust. The catcher, it works fine. My preference is to keep my lawn short enough so I don't have to catch it, and I use it majority of the time with a mulch plug. What you'd also notice is I had this mulch plug in when I did some of the heavier stuff as well. Now, there's a few people that are out there that are going to slam me for it, but what I wanted to do was push the limits of the mower and have the grass underneath trying to punch down into the actual bed or into the ground as the mulch part of it's supposed to do, just to see how much I could clog it up. This thing is tough in overdrive, it really is. So the 82 volts comes through, does its work really well. The mulch plug works perfect. My backyard possibly never looked so good. Having electric, I'll tell you now, and people will disagree, but the minute you have electric brush cutter, electric mower, and electric blower, so all your cordless stuff, you will maintain your yard more. Because it seems, I know this is a bit of a weird thing, but it seems easier to go click of a button, pull in the safety and off you go. Versus, I'll get the thing out and pull start it and I've got to add fuel to it. I understand people are going to go, you're a moron, mate. That's okay, I'll cop that. I'm telling you now, you have a cordless mower and a cordless trimmer, you're not going to look back. You will maintain your garden more often. It's a fact. So a couple of quick things. Just safety wise, you press this button in here. I don't have a battery in at the moment because it's inside. You press the button. As you've depressed that, you actually just pull this. This is a little key button, so if you've got little kids around, this thing can actually just pop out, stick it in your pocket, hang it in the shed in a different spot to where the mower is, and you don't have anywhere near as big a safety issue with kids possibly being in here. With your battery, really nice water resistant cover here. So you lift that up, you slot it in, give it a click, and you're away. So it's literally a battery, and press the button, pull that, and you're off, and you're ready to go. So the thing is super quiet. Look, I'm really impressed. 52 centimetre, I think it's 21 inch. I don't work in inches, so 21 inch was about 51, 52 centimetre cut. So it does the trick really well. Your height adjustment is on the right hand side here. Again, nice and simple. Like, keep it simple, stupid. They've done that. Pull it out, spring loaded, pop it up and down, right to go. The thing really is quite a tricked up unit. One thing I do want to say with it, this mower is a good mower. Is it what I would consider a great mower? No, and for two reasons. The first one would be, on a short lawn, relatively well maintained lawn, you turn it on and it kicks into the standard speed, and you can mow all day with it, change a few batteries over, no dramas. When it gets into a medium to hard lawn, it doesn't quite know if it wants to be in that, what I'm going to call turbo mode or not. So it sort of hunts a little bit. It'll be kicking in, then all of a sudden it doesn't. But as you're walking along at full speed, normal speed, all of a sudden it comes on a thick patch. As you go across that thick patch, before it can kick into that turbo mode and actually go a little faster and put some more torque in it, you've already gone over it. So quite often I'd find some of those thicker patches, I'll be walking along and I will go, oh no, I need to go higher, and I'd have to back up, go back over that and go again. It's not the world's biggest issue, but it does struggle. I think it's set slightly too low, or the intelligence system in it just needs to be a little bit more active. When I did the hard stuff, I wanted to push the limits of the unit, and I wanted to see if this thing had just run hardcore, which it does. Runs in the higher torque mode and the thicker grass, and it's absolutely brilliant. So the bottom end is fantastic. The top end is fantastic. It's just that fudge room in between, I don't think it's quite there, and hopefully on the newer models they'll find that. But if you've got a relatively well-maintained backyard, you're not going to have a problem. And honestly, this thing is dead quiet at 60 decibels. It really is impressive. The second thing I'd love to see, I love steel decks. I've already said that. What I'd love to see is Victa's got a Mustang, I think it is, called a mower. That's got an aluminium base. I would love the aluminium base on it. I know it's going to add money, whether they can work out a way to get that on it, because the steel deck, over time, when you're hitting rocks and bits and pieces, it is going to pierce off. I don't know if it's powder coat. I think it's just a painted pressed steel deck. It is going to slowly chip off that paint, and naturally, it's going to start to rust. One way I think Victa could fix it, either put an aluminium deck on it, or in one of my previous mowers I've had, it just had a little hole here, and you can actually just shove a hose on it. So while it's running, you just pop the hose onto the hole, and it actually blasted a bit of water down, and the blades would catch it, and the blades would flick it off. Now, being a cordless one and not a petrol, there's actually no issue whatsoever with tipping the thing upside down. So there's no actual reason why I couldn't do that, hose off underneath, all good, no worries. I can do that, just a little thing. As far as a mower on its own for $7.99, I think it's well priced. It's not the best priced in the market where it sits, but it's well priced. When you start talking about a system, there's a couple of reviews you would have seen I've already done. One being on this chainsaw, the 18-inch chainsaw. Absolute cracker. I really love it. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm just dancing on the edge, get this, and then add the chainsaw as a skin. Get a 4-amp-hour battery for the chainsaw, but get it. The brush cutter is quite good. A little bit big for my small backyard, and not quite commercial. So again, it just sits in that sort of almost awkward mode, but it's a good line trimmer, and I love the weight of it. The other thing is, we've got the blower, which I've done the review on. No bells and whistles, but it's a good blower. And then you've got the hedge trimmer, which is a bit heavy for me, but a good hedge trimmer. So as a package, Victa have done really, really well with these 5 tools. So what I want to say is it's a good mower. Is it a great mower? I don't think so. That's my personal opinion. Is it a good system? Absolutely. And you have to start thinking with cordless mower, cordless chainsaw, cordless blower. You've got to start thinking package and system like we do with power tools. We don't try and go 2 or 3 different platforms. So you need to start looking at it that way. So I think this is a really good unit and you won't be disappointed, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed the review. Any questions, please hit me up. If you've got any feedback, also comment. And please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks very much. See you later.